Okay, stream up. Waiting for YouTube to confirm. YouTube confirms. Exit connection. Video up. There you go. Nice, 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 nice. Waiting for the laptop to confirm. And there we go. Full on live. All right. We are live on the game. We are live on OBS. We are live on YouTube. And we are live on the laptop. So that means that you guys should be able to hear me and, enjoy. We are here in Indianapolis for round 5. Am I right on that? Yes. Round 5 of the Evolution Racing Academy Sunday Series, server number 2, split 2. That means that we have the silver, the bronze, and the iron drivers on track at the moment. To be clear, there's also been a big reshuffling of some rankings. There's a couple of people missing, specifically iron driver Paul Scrivaris, who won overall the last 2 races at Donington Park and Silverstone, and we knew he was getting promoted, and he has been promoted, so there's going to be a whole standings shuffle to talk about, because he was pretty much on its way to winning the Iron Championship, I think, by a significant long shot. Now somebody else has the lead there, and it's actually a little bit surprising who it is, because I would have thought it'd be Andreas Hansen, and it is not. So with the reshuffling, we have a new Iron Championship leader. The silver and bronze trophies remain in the hands of people who had them as of last week, so that's not new, that's not a change. We'll get more into that during the qualifying sessions, but just handling it all here. I do apologize for anybody who was watching the 6 hours of Silverstone yesterday. I was on commentary duty and had some problems. I'm told that the commentary still came out all right, but I still think it was below my capabilities and capacity for reasons beyond my control. So there is that, and I do want to apologize for that. So hopefully today we're back at full strength. The issue that presented itself yesterday has cleared up, and the only thing I have to deal with is the fact that there is a minor pain in my upper hip, lower back area. Not sure what's up with that, but that is being a little bit of a pain. I guess in a nutshell, we are going with the classic, hey Mike, you're old. And there's going to be little aches and pains every day that are unexplainable, and that's kind of all there is to it. All right, so we're here in practice for Indianapolis, a track that I don't particularly like, but, it's one that I'm pretty experienced with, and we're going to be able to deliver as much as we can. So let's see who has the best view to give us a track map here. Car number 8. You've been voluntold. That is Chris Dancer, who will travel on the bonnet with. Heading on down to turn 1 here with the McLaren 720S. A little wider than you'd want it to be. You want to cut that tight, but we'll see a lot of different alternate lines into that turn. It's a tricky one because of the camber nature of it, and also the speed you're coming in off the oval. Working our way through the first little section here. I don't really think of this track in terms of like turn 1, turn 2. It's very much kind of a sectional thing, because you're kind of plotting your approach to the next turn as you're going through the current turn. That's a good example here. This is that left-right hand combo. Onto the back straight here. Too complicated here. And we head into what I believe is basically the end of Sector 2. Sector 2 not particularly long here, and a lot of it is that straight. And of course, Sector 3, we're not even going to talk about that. Sector 3 is an area where I think people will be very much on parity as we enter the oval section here. And in fact, this is where Sector 3 comes into play. We do have this little chicane here, so we're doing, I think this is technically called the Moto layout. I'm not used to that chicane being here, actually. That's going to throw me off. I'm used to the idea that's just basically the oval all the way through there, but we don't have that quite there, so second 3 is a little bit more interesting than usual. So that's a lap around Indianapolis here today. At the end of our practice session, we have the Audi Professional Hater setting the pace, but who knows how serious those runs were. The practice session's a relatively short one. A lot of cars didn't even bother heading out on track, so I don't really know what that's going to mean for the qualifying session coming up. We will be having the Irons taking the track first, and we'll talk about the Iron Championship that has been very, very much altered as a result of the promotions. We'll talk about who's in the lead there and the dynamics of that with, I want to say 3 races left. It might be 4. What do we still have left? We have... I'm in the wrong place. There it is. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, we have Indianapolis, Valencia, and Kyle on the left, so 3 races. All right. Okay. Turn the garage for a moment here. Let's quickly talk about this Iron Championship because it's gotten spicy. In first place now is Nathan Gray on 60 points in his Aston Martin. He has an 8-point lead over Andreas Hansen. Now, it is important to note Hansen missed the Silverstone round and therefore has a 0 drop score already, whereas Nathan would be dropping a 13-point effort at, for 4th place at COTA. So that is definitely, that recontextualizes it significantly. But in terms of overall points, he's 8 points up. Felix Kramerich is in 3rd place on 50, followed by Conrad Kuhn on 38. 34 for Max Cruz, who was my pick to win. Caster's Curse. 32 points for D. Hines. Pat Fortune's on 26. 24 for Mario Fajea. And 22 for Clinton Strobel. That is your... I wasn't aiming for like a top 10 there. That's top 9. And the reason I cut it off at 9 is that everybody else is not really in this consideration because they've been to 1 or 2 races or are just kind of like a little bit tail end Charlie. Sorry, Rian Lottore, who has been a reliable part of the grid, but a pair of 8th places are the best he has been able to do. So let's hop on with car 303, please. That is Felix Kramerich in the Rossman's Porsche. And I said go to the 303. Heading into turn 1, Felix will be looking to be the man to set the pace here early on. 3rd place in the championship, the winner of Donington, as well as 2nd place is at Silverstone and Hungaroring. Really, it was just his absence at COTA that has him further down the pecking order. Definitely a championship contender, in my opinion. I would say he's had the best results of all. Hasn't finished outside the top 2. Whereas Hansen's got a win, a 2nd, and a 3rd. Is 2 points ahead of him because of the bonus points. Hansen's got 2 poles and 2 fastest laps to his name. Absolutely like dominated Hungaroring, and despite coming home 2nd at Donington Park, obviously a really solid run. Mickey Taylor's picked up a DSQ, so I imagine he is qualification banned for this particular track. Kramerich is, I would say, one of the 3 people we're really talking about as far as the championship are concerned, with Nathan Gray and with Andreas Hansen. He is the one that stands in the way of Los Patos Hermanos and being able to take this home as Gray and Hansen, if memory serves, both race for Los Patos Hermanos, and as a result are a teammate deal, but I don't know how seriously some of these drivers take the teams necessarily. So Kramerich sets the pace at a 137.137. And there's one of the stunt possum BMWs coming all across the line right behind him. That is D. Hines, as well as Max Cruz. So let's see here. Who do we have next up? Let's hop on with 269, please. That is Conrad Kuhn, who's sporting a new livery today. Had previously just been running the Up Garage livery. Goes fourth quickest. It's basically the Up Garage livery again, just with a kind of lime green coloring to it. And let's hop on with the 217 of Mario Ferreira. Currently in 12th place, but obviously yet to post a lap time. It's got a pretty reasonable looking one here. Let's see how it goes. Second quickest. Very respectable. 0.6 off of Kramrich. Clinton Strobel's on an illegal lap, so not going to count. Lucas Joubert is in the field for the first time here on Sunday. He did a coast-to-coast in the Enduro yesterday for all 6 hours, so 2 thumbs up for him for being here as well. He's one of the Griffin boys and goes 7th quickest. And we're also looking for Werner Jacobs is on an illegal lap at the moment, as is Strobel. So they're the only 2 that have not put up a lap time yet. So we got 12 irons in the field today. And Kuhn is currently putting up a really quick one, as is Nathan Gray for Los Patos Hermanos. I don't see Andreas Hansen in the field today, so that's a big deal. I was saying that Hansen had an advantage in the sense that he doesn't have a drop score as Nathan Gray goes fastest. But if he's not going to show up, that's not really going to particularly matter. This would be the 2nd race in a row that he's missed. And Conrad Kuhn should have a pretty nicely improved lap there, 4th quickest. Kuhn won his debut at Coda. Hasn't been quite as solid at the British tracks, but did start really well, so you never know. Maybe he can stick his nose in there. Joubert is up about a half second right now. Pretty good parity in the field. Lautre is the only one that's really a little bit off the pace. And I don't like the fact that Strobel's back in the pits without putting up a lap time, so maybe Clinton Strobel is one of the guys who is not exactly tremendously solid when it comes to the Indianapolis race knowledge and the feel for the track. Joubert lost a little bit of time, but should still have a little bit of improvement there. And also on a pretty good lap is Mario Ferreira, who's currently a half second up. This would put him on pole, actually, with the lap time he's got right now, but it's very, very close. He's like within his 10th of a second, so he'll have to be sharp. But it looks like there's a shot here for him to take pole in the class. Obviously, we're not expecting an iron pole sitter here today. Although we did have it at Silverstone, so it could happen. Still on pace for pole. Still looking good. Should be mentioned, Kramrich has got a good lap going on too. They might both have a say on this. And actually, Nathan Gray's got an improved lap going, although by just a little bit. But it is it's a legitimate 3-way fight for pole right now. All 3 of them on solid laps. Fahea lost a little bit of ground though, and I think that his danger for pole position is kind of over right now. He's only about 3/10 up. Indeed, will come across the line still in 3rd place. So let's pick up on Kramrich, who currently does have a pole position time, although it should be mentioned that the lap that Nathan Gray has going right now would still be better than what Kramrich has got going here. See if the Rothmans Porsche has got a little bit of a leg on it, and we'll see if the Los Patos Hermanos Aston Martin is going to be able to pick up a little, or is going to be able to keep up the pace. Lost a little bit of time there through the chicane section. Seems like that's a bit of a make-or-break one right now for the Iron drivers. Still should be good enough at least for a temporary pole position, and it is. Nathan Gray lost a bunch of time through the chicane as well. Right now, he does not have enough to take pole back. In fact, he is now officially gone into the red, which means that this is not even an improvement lap. No joy there. Conrad Kuhn is up 6/10. Actually, more than that now. He's up almost a full second. So he might stick his head into this pole battle. Running out of time, but this should be good enough for a top 3. Yeah. 3rd place. Pat Fortune in the Stunt Possum BMWs putting up a good lap as well. He was up only 1 spot, but he's 1.4 off a pole now, so he's mixing it up very competitively today. Nathan Gray is up 4/10 right now. That would be good enough for a pole position in the category. I see the audience is growing. As per usual, the usual deal here, guys. If there's anything wrong with the audio or video, please let me know, and I will do my best to address it. Max Cruz actually is kind of in the battle now as well, although he's in the pits, so presumably he's done. So Gray might be the last hope. Currently, his time is good enough for pole. He's up about 6/10, a little bit under that. Smidge below. Lost a little bit of time approaching the chicane, but he did have a good run through the chicane itself. I'm going to probably call that the bus stop a little bit. I don't know if that's its official name or not. And just short. 52 thousandths off of pole position, which will go to Felix Kramrich, I do believe. The iron drivers who are out on laps right now can still finish their lap, but I don't... Like, the only one right now on an improvement lap is Pat Fortune. And I think we can... It's not good enough. We'll just leave it at that. We'll go 8th quickest. Felix Kramrich gets the pole point in the iron category. Just making a minor amendment to my spreadsheet here. There we go. That puts him 9 points off of the championship lead. It does look like, unfortunately, the race ACC race control might have deserted me here. And it has. So let's get that rebooted. That may require a reboot of the game, unfortunately. But you know what? If it's going to happen, I would rather it happen in qualifying than during the race. So, I don't want to say fair play, but... fair enough. Okay, it worked. It reconnected this time without having to reboot the game. Excellent, excellent, excellent. What do you mean that you're on the wrong side of the screen there, Mr. Dennis? What are you talking about? All right. So who's going to be the first bronze to put up a lap time? It'll probably be Mike Golf. So we'll get a focus on him. Dennis not racing. Bronze Driver Championship. Adam Stewart leading the way with 55 points. He is 4 points ahead of Sean Young. Masio Saha is 14 points back with 41. Saha has the 0 point drop, though, that the other two do not have. So he may be a little bit more in that than the 14-point gap would indicate. Mike Golfer is currently in 4th place with 37 points. It's then Jeffrey Bacher in 5th with 34. 30 each for Chris Stancer and Ron Morley. 20 points for Kerry Pattenden. 19 points for Idris Cahill. 16 for Alan Herrera. 15 for the newly promoted Casey Jones. And 10 for Matthias Weideman. 9 for Adrian Marood. And the rest are a little bit inconsequential if I'm being entirely honest. Amend my spreadsheet here to include this round for points purposes. I always like to have the spreadsheet handy to do calculations on the fly for you guys as far as the championships are concerned. Dennis is not racing. Work has been biting. Oh, bad sleep. I can relate after yesterday. Feel better, my man. So who's on a good lap right now? Casey Jones is on a pretty good lap right now. 8/10 up. Masio Saha, by the way, has taken pole. Might call for his second amongst the bronzes at the moment. Followed by newcomer. And I was tormented by his name in the Enduro the other day. Silas? Is it Silas Sate? I'm not sure. Hopefully I'm not butchering it too badly. If I am, please let me know. Oops, somebody spun off there. Looks like one of the Cyber Racing Porsches. So Stunt Possum with another bronze representative down in the form of Casey Jones, who's been promoted after, some pretty good results. Notably a 4th place in class at Silverstone. And no longer part of the Iron Championship. Ooh. Man, you came away with cutting a fair bit there. I expected that to invalidate the lap, honestly. But it appears to be still in play. Bearded X Badass calling for Hater for the win today. Maybe. We've been waiting for Professional Hater to pop his cherry for a bit. So John's got a good lap going here. Should pop up into the top 10 easy. Almost 2 seconds improvement. There you go, 9th place. That's an illegal lap, so we can look at that. Adam Stewart's on an 8-second improvement. his standing lap was quite bad, so not popping up that high. Idris Cahill for Stunt Possum Racing, currently on about a 2nd improvement, 8/10 anyways. Should pop him up, actually nowhere. He's going to stay in the exact same spot despite a significant improvement. Kerry Pattenden, who got the dub in category at Silverstone, his first good result of the season. I thought he'd be a championship contender. It hasn't really turned out that way. Also, side note. When I first saw this livery, I was thinking of Milwaukee Breweries, the beer. Here's the funny thing. And I don't have a camera plugged into the computer, otherwise I'd show it on cam. But I actually have a Milwaukee Tools tape measure that's like literally sitting on my desk at like all times, and I didn't think Milwaukee Tools for this livery. Kerry Pattenden goes 2nd quickest. Adam Stewart in the Wise Racing Lexus, currently up about a 2nd. Didn't have a very good first lap. Had a better one. This one should get him into the top 10. Should be around Conrad Kuhn's time right now. Livery is finally working. Hey! Don't blame me. Blame yourself. You had it in the package wrong. I download the package before every single race. So if it's suddenly working now, it's because you changed something in the package. Stewart goes 7th quickest. Cahill's up 1. Ooh, actually, Matthew East is putting up a burner for him. Let's watch him cross the line here. 21st place. Not that high up, but like much improved. So I respect it. Cahill went about 6/10 quicker. Currently, the big improvement right now is from Silas Satai. Currently up about 4/10 of a second, which should take him up to really about only around where D. Hines is. Should get him past one Stunt Possum. Should put him in a Stunt Possum sandwich. Yeah, it was one of those instead of well, there you go. There were a couple people bugging me about their liveries not working. I'm just like, I don't manage the livery package. Like if it's not working, your problem's in the package. It's not it's not with me. There we go. Gets into a Stunt Possum sandwich. Adam Stewart's got a minor improvement going on here. I was the livery package manager for another community I do races with and do commentary for, and oh man, Getting everybody's livery working was... It makes me want to just demand that everyone use in-game liveries. But no one's ever happy. No one's ever happy with that. Oh, actually, Casey Jones is on a bit of a hot one. Let's pick him up here. About 4/10 up right now. That would move him into... Probably just has a shot at top 5 right here. I think he's probably only about 6th place at the moment. Actually lost a bit of time. We'll see if he can pull it off here. Still 4/10 up, though. Should have a shot at the top 5 here. Hey, Mario. How are you doing? Sachai also having a pretty good lap. Alan Herrera's got a pretty good improver. He's up about a second now. He is 4.2 off pole, so he's not anywhere near the top of the timesheets, even if he keeps it together. But we'll shout out people who are doing better than they've done before. Ooh, big increase here. All right, Casey Jones suddenly has a real shot at this here. This should be top 5. And it is. 5th place for the American. I'd say the hometown driver, but honestly, it's America. I have no idea. Oh, yeah, you and Max Cruz are 0.003 of a second apart. Which is impressively close. So, Masio Saha with the bronze pole by the looks of it. Nobody on an active lap has any real hope of unseating him. That will be Saha's 3rd pole of the season. And that brings us to the Silver Championship, which is the quote-unquote headlining championship on the server. Currently, it's a 4-point lead for Matt Gale over Bearded Ass Badass, 63 to 59 points. Richard Oakes is on 50. All of them have to drop a score still. They have all scored in all races. In fact, that's true of the entire top 5. El Perry at 47, 34 for Robert Volt. Last round's winner at Silverstone, Oral Ja, is on 29 points, 22 for Professional Hater, 20 apiece for Dennis Hook and Mickey Taylor, and 16 for David Slater. That is your your Silver Championship. And who we got? Who's going to be the first one to put up the lap here? Looks like it'll be Matt Gale. So we'll pick up the Cyber Racing Porsche. This is the fastest group. By the way, no lap time posted by Clinton Strobel. So the 737 will probably start from the back. Nice to see a couple of drivers returning to the grid here today. We got Professional Hater back out there. We've also got Steve Tetley making his season debut, as well as Isaac Jordan. Good to see them back. And also a second return from Jack Biddle, who was at Silverstone but was a DNF on the day. So we'll see what he can get done here. I remember him being very impressive last season. And it would be good to see it again. Inject a little bit of like blood at the top of this championship, which has been a little dull, just a little bit. It's very much been the Matt Gale versus Richard Oakes show, with Bearded X Badass picking up what he can. So if we can get Oral Ja to be a little bit more consistent after his Silverstone win, if we can get Jack Biddle and Steve Tetley back to the top, if we get El Perry to keep doing what he's been doing the last 2 races, we should see a little bit more of an interesting championship battle. All right, Matt Gale puts the pace in at 13th place. See the silvers start to percolate towards the top of the time chart here. Probably not on their first lap though. Everybody should have a little bit of an improvement after that. Hater goes 3rd quickest in the 992 Audi. Here comes Jack Biddle in the Aston Martin. That's good enough for 17th for the time being. There is Steve Tetley, not in the... I kind of miss his old Lamborghini livery, the kind of 8-bit looking one. but sporting the 808 Ross Racing livery. The big old Lambo on the side. If you didn't know you were looking at a Lambo, you damn well are going to know from the livery. See where he comes across here. Current pole's at 35.5. And that's 22nd place there. Anyone on a hot one? Oral Ja at the moment is not threatening pole position, but currently 7th place. This should move him up into 2nd come the end of the lap. Actually, might threaten pole. Might threaten pole. It's only a little over a 10th off right now. Didn't have a great run through the miniature bus stop, though. And that will indeed be good enough for... Must have been an illegal lap time. Should have been 2nd place. Isaac Jordan popping up into 25th with that lap. Hayter and Perry behind him. No one on a really hot lap right now. I mean, there's a number of improvements. Most people are actually on improving laps right now. Pick up Steve Tetley, who's about 3/10 up right now. I might, at the end of qualifying, give myself a quick back crack because we'll see if I can fix this lower back issue I'm having. And not have that distract me during the race, but we'll wait till qualifying is done before trying to address that. Tetley up to 19th. Jack Biddle's got a decent improvement lap going right now. He's on the back stretch, about a half second to 6/10 up right now. Not a threat to pole or anything, but should be enough to get him up to around sniffing that top 10 option. Also good lap going for L. Perry right now. We'll have a look at the Stealth Bomber. As it stands about a second off of pole position right now. Good enough for 8th quickest. And we pick up Biddle, who's actually even doing a little bit better now. 8/10 up. Good enough for 12th. Steve Tetley's got a couple of tenths coming off right now. Still an all-bronze front row, though, with Saha and Patton. Not out of reach, but Bearded X Badass, who is currently the top silver driver, doesn't seem to have much of an improvement in him from his 36.122. There are gains being made, but with 2 minutes and change left, I don't know. Not quite the Scrivaris throw. That was quite insane. Scrivaris was quite a bit ahead of the pack and pretty much dominated. So Saha would have to do the would have to pull it off in the race too to be a threat for that throne. Richard Oakes should jump up a couple spots here. About a half second up right now. I say that, and he drops about 2/10. So, still should be a good lap here. Top 5 threat, yeah, 4th place. No one burning it up, though. No one really threatening that pole position at the moment. Best improvement right now is Oral Ja, maybe. Somebody popped up a couple spots then. Oh, Perry's on a bit of an improvement. Steve Tetley back to the Lambo. Currently in 20th place, about 4/10 up right now. Would move up into about 14th-ish. Around where Alan Herrera currently is. Assuming he can hold it. People have been losing a lot of time in this third sector. It's definitely a bit more difficult than the layout I recall. And does indeed go 15th quickest. That was pretty close. Isaac Jordan's up about 4/10 right now. And L. Perry's got a bit of a lap going. Oral Shaw's got an improvement. Jack Biddle. Richard Oakes. Professional hater, but nothing that's threatening poles. Should be said, nothing that's threatening pole position. Or even a front row start. There's a couple of tenths for everybody I just listed. Currently at stake. This should be good enough for second. Yep, Oral Shaw taking second place. And Jack Biddle's currently on a good one. Should actually be... Hater went second quickest. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. Biddle's about to put up an excellent lap as well. Boom. Second quickest. Bearded X Badass currently up about 3/10, but that's still about 3/10 off pole. Oral Shaw also has a chance. Richard Oakes is out there, but I don't think he's showing enough improvement. It'll be Bearded X Badass who has the first crack at it. Currently has a lap time good enough for 4th place. Could be a little bit better, but it's not after pole position yet. Lost a bit of time there on the transition. Good run, though, through the chicane. Oakes is on a... Jaws illegalized his lap, so he's no longer focused. It's really just these two. Hater's going to come across the line about 3/10 up, which is good enough for 4th spot. And then Oakes will snag it back right at the line. So Maciel Saha will be on pole. Jack Biddle gets the bronze or the silver pole position for his first point of the season. Just amending my table here. And we'll go through a full walk down of the grid. But first, ladies and gentlemen, if I may, I'm going to give myself a quick back crack and see if that fixes the problem. Probably won't, but it'll hopefully make me a little bit more comfortable. All right, I am back. Still in a bit of pain, but notable improvement. So, that'll have to do. All right, so the full grid walk here of the grid. On pole position, representing the bronze category, Masio Saha, the number 32 Mercedes. It's the 818 of Jack Biddle in second place. Aston Martin. Row 2, the 992 Audi, a professional hater, in the Porsche of the Rust Bucket man himself, Richard Oakes, the number 20. On row 3, Beard X Badass in the 789 296 Ferrari of Oral Ja joining him. The 97 of Kerry Patton's on the inside of row 4 with L. Perry's 988 Nissan making up that row. Championship leader Matt Gale in the 508 Porsche will start from 9th place with Felix Kramrich in the Porsche 303. That is the top iron car in the field. The Iron Championship leader Nathan Gray will start 11th in the 995. Casey Jones alongside in the 313 Ferrari. Mike Golfer in the 133 Porsche and the 28 Ferrari of Alan Herrera, row 7. Row 8, Steve Tetley in his return, the 808 Lamborghini, ahead of Conrad Kuhn's Honda, the 269. Adam Stewart in the 64 Lexus, and Mario Fajea in the 217 for McLaren make up row 9. Row 10, Max Cruz in the 57 BMW, and the number 8 McLaren of Chris Stancer. The number 3 Lamborghini of Jeffrey Bacher, and the number 989 McLaren of Silas Satai. Row 11, Thomas Boris and D. Hines making up row 12. And then it is Lucas Geese and Idris Cahill, Pat Fortune and Lucas Joubert, row 14. Sean Young and David Slater on row 15. Matthew East and Ariane Laurent on row 16. Row 17, Werner Jacobs and Clinton Strobel, who did not get a lap time in. And then at the back, it is Mickey Taylor, Isaac Jordan. Isaac, I think, had a lap time, so I'm not sure what is up with that. Click drive, my man, please. Ah, very well, very well. As the penalty times accumulate, we have Bearded X Badass, Oral Shaw, Kerry Pattenden, and Pat Fortune. Facing penalties fortunes is a drive-through. Interesting. Bring up the helicam, as we usually do at the start of the race. Saha on the pole position. Saha in a title fight for the bronze title, of course. He's been the fastest bronze driver pretty frequently. Has 2 fastest laps and now 4 poles to his name. So obviously pretty dominant in that regard. But hasn't really necessarily been able to turn it in. Did win at Hungaroring, got the full 20 points there. Podium at Donington Park as well. But Silverstone was a bit of a comeback down to earth there when he finished in just, I believe, 8th place in class. So we know that there is some difficulty, shall we say, in that regard. But he'll start on pole today with Jack Biddle, and he has a considerable advantage over his main bronze rivals. Adam Stewart, the championship leader, will start from 17th, and Sean Young, who is second in the championship, quite a way back. Ray about to win Iron this week. I'm not sure that's the bold proclamation that you think it is after he won at Silverstone in the Iron category. He is just the Iron Championship leader there. So I don't know if you can count that as a bold proclamation. Just saying. He does have pace. Very impressive driver. Starts P2 amongst the irons behind Felix Kramrich, who is probably his main rival here for the championship today, because no Andreas Hansen for the second race in a row means that Hansen's Mercedes bid is it's falling back. Because his main advantage was the fact that by missing Silverstone, he had a 0 drop score already. but if he's going to miss Indianapolis as well, that means, well, this race is going to count for Hansen as far as the championship is concerned. About ready to kick this pig. Biddle kind of holding back a little bit. Needs to catch up and actually be at the front here. That Aston Martin there. The, I guess, teal? Black and pink one. That, or purple one. That one should be at the front. There we go. That's better. Professional Hater and the Rust Bucket on row 2. A little bit further back, it is Oral Shaw's Ferrari and the Bearded X Badass himself in the Mustang. Although he's on the wrong side of the track. I think that might be where Isaac Jordan was supposed to be.
Green light, go, go, go.
And we are green here in Indianapolis. Biddle was out of position at the start and has dropped back to 4th place. Hater and the Rust Bucket going past. Hater going to challenge around the outside here into turn 1. I don't think that that's really on. So Saha will remain in the lead. Hater in 2nd place. Oaks around the outside of Biddle. They're getting side by side here. Drive-through, by the way, for Max Cruz and Mike Golfer. So a couple of drive-throughs being handed out here. A lot of movement going on right now. Oh boy. So Saha from Hater, from the Rust Bucket of Oaks. Biddle made a bit of a hash of the start and has dropped back to 4th place. Alan Herrera is up to 5th place. That's insane. Matt Gale is in 6th place. Casey Jones, 7th, so he's on a good run here. Nathan Gray's up to 8th. 9th for Mike Golfer. 10th for Thomas Boris in the top 10. Wow. Boris coming out of nowhere, honestly. Overtakes Mike Golfer for 9th place. That's impressive. Kuhn, Cruz, Bearded X Badass, Adam Stewart, D. Hines, Jeffrey Bacher, L. Perry, Satai, Tetley, and Stancer, your top 10. And Felix Kramer just at the back of the back. So something has happened to the Iron Bolson. Saha having to fight for it. So not quite pulling the Scrivaris here. Scrivaris would have been disappearing into the distance at this point. Hater's on the inside. Here we go. Mike Golfer serving his drive-through as well as Cruz. And the lead goes to Hater. The 992 is hit the front. Let's go, Audi! Richard Oakes in close proximity as well. And Biddle not too far back, but a little bit further back than you'd like to be. Alan Herrera in 7th place, doing excellent work. By the way, Nathan Gray currently is the leading iron driver. Saha with the bronze lead, and Hater, of course, with the silver and overall lead. Yellow flags coming up. Matthew East recovering, as well as one of the McLarens. I believe that is Mario Fajeda. Casey Jones going side by side with Alan Herrera. Battle for 6th place. The Stunt Possum remains ahead. This is a pretty important battle for 2nd place in bronze right now. And we've also got side by side action for Nathan Gray. He's lost out to Thomas Boris and now also Conrad Kuhn. Bearded X Badass coming for him as well, so Gray dropping back. Still in 3rd place in the iron category. And still holding on to a top 10 overall. Not for nothing. Yellow flag out for Adam Stewart. Let's see what happens to Lexus. Oh! Had an accident with these D. Hines in the Stunt Possum BMW. Gray still on the tail of Kuhn. Still has Bearded X Badass behind him. That's important. Badass has had a really consistent season, which has led to being a pretty decent Silver Championship contender, despite the fact that he has not beat Silver leader Matt Gale at any race prior to Silverstone. But he's been on the podium every single time in class. Nathan Gray looking down the... I guess that's going to be the outside of Kuhn. I don't think that's really going to be on. Oh! Kuhn bumps into Thomas Boris, though, and Nathan Gray also collects him. So problems for Thomas Boris, who was leading the iron category. And, oh, that's a sloppy rejoin. Gets into it with D. Hines. Now has to battle with the newcomer to the field, Silas Satai. Saw him in the Enduro race. Well, that's a little sloppy, gentlemen. And Kerry Pattenden in the Milwaukee Tools Lamborghini. Also in the mix there, as well as Jeffrey Bacher in the Lambo. So the two bulls on the tail of the McLaren. Once upon a time, McLaren almost ended up Lamborghini almost ended up being the engine supplier for McLaren. In Formula One, a little contact there, a little bullying. And Kerry Patton's going to lead the track. And rejoin a little bit further back. Oral Shaw, by the way, is into the pits to make the first, non-penalty induced pit stop of the day. Stealth Bombers up to 10th. On the teal of Bearded X Badass, so they're making their way through. Currently behind Nathan Gray. And Gray was done a tremendous favor by Boris and Kuhn coming to blows. He's taken them out of the way and has allowed him to assume the iron lead. Side-by-side action between Adam Stewart and Chris Stancer. A pair of bronze veterans fighting it out over 17th spot. I've really applauded Stancer's reliability in this series, but he has been going backwards in every race as far as actual results are concerned. Isaac Jordan, who I think had a glitch in qualifying, qualified up near the front, and then gets into the back of Adam Stewart. Adam Stewart for the second time today getting taken out by one of the Stunt Possum BMWs. This time it was Idris Cahill. Stunt Possums, you know I love you. You know I love you. But you're kicking my boy while he's down right now. You are just putting the giant kick me sign on the back of that Lexus. I'm not super happy about it. You would not have my voice on this commentary if it wasn't for Adam Stewart. You should be thanking him. Or cursing him. Take your pick. Conrad Kuhn in battle with David Slater. Slater did not qualify, and as a result started near the back. Has made his way up into 19th spot in the 73 Milwaukee Tools car. One of two of those in the field. Meanwhile, at the front, Hayter has opened up a gap, but it's not a huge one. He's up about 2.6 right now. I know the tower has 1.5, but I have 2.6 on my timing app. Here's Dex Badass and El Perry still giving chase to the Los Patos Hermanos. Aston Martin of Nathan Gray. Iron leader against two of the more consistent runners in the silver class. A mistake there. El Perry says, "Thank you very much. I'll take 9th place." We got a yellow flag out for Mario Fajeda. Looks like his car has seen some better days. Kuhn overtakes Slater for 19th place. And And Slater might not be done dropping. Lucas Joubert and Mickey Taylor are right there. And if I do say so, they look hungry. Adam Stewart in the background, along with Lucas Geese. Further back, you've got Sean Young, Felix Kramrich, and Idris Cahill. As Cahill ends up spinning, what happened here? Looks like he tries to outbrake Kramrich into turn 1. Do I put it on him, or do I put it on... And it's a little 50-50. I'd say it's a little bit more on Kramrich there, not being tremendously aware of the circumstances going on around him. As Thomas Boris has had no spin. His day has gone from bad to worse. Satai battling it up against D. Hines for 11th place. D. Hines is kind of, despite being in the center of a lot of combat today, including rear-ending Adam Stewart, has ended up in 11th place and moving up slowly. So credit where it is due. Isaac Jordan and Steve Tetley, both of them back in the field, and we're happy to have them. They're tracking down Chris Stancer at the moment. Isaac Jordan, one of the early day Mustang adopters, if memory serves. And Lucas Geese picks up a spot on Adam Stewart, who I think appears to be in the pit. Yeah, okay. I was going to say. Overtake without me being able to see the other car? What's going on here? And Stewart is indeed in the pits. Probably trying to get some Stunt Possum logos out of his rear bumper. Isaac Jordan, Steve Tetley, Jeffrey Bacher, Conrad Kuhn, and Chris Stancer in this train now. It's a Stancer train. We've seen the Stancer train before, for being honest. David Slater not too far back in the Milwaukee Tools car. Let's see if any moves happen. Isaac Jordan going for the move against Steve Tetley. Tetley will be on the inside, but that Mustang power does work out. Mustang should be pretty strong around here, I would imagine. I don't have a lot of experience with the Mustang in this game. It kind of came into the game when I was in the middle of recuperation from a leg surgery, and as a result was on a hiatus from the game. Once I get back into really putting some laps up in ACC, like some like laps for myself and not just practicing for like an endurance race, I will be looking at the Mustang quite closely. So any tips you want to provide, please feel free. That, along with the Valencia track, are pretty high on my list of to-dos. Side-by-side action here into turn 1. Satai is going to get down the inside of Hines for 11th place. There's not a ton of great action going on, so we'll do a quick rundown. Hayter in the lead. Saha still in second. Richard Oakes in the Rust Bucket in third. Jack Biddle is in 4th place, followed by the championship leader Matt Gale, Alan Herrera, Casey Jones, Nathan Gray leading the Irons in 8th place, El Perry, and Bearded X Badass is your top 10. We do have a pair of prolonged pit stops going on here. Thomas Boris is in, as well as Oral Jha. And Jha has picked up a 30-second stop-go penalty, so that is not good. D. Hines still on the back of Satai for 11th place. Don't really know if he wants to go after that too hard, though. Hines is currently second in the iron category. By the way, top 5 in iron, Nathan Gray, D. Hines, followed by Conrad Kuhn, Felix Kramrich, and Lucas Joubert. So Gray making up a fair amount of ground. Hines, I should say, making up a fair amount of ground. Hines coming into today in 6th place in the Iron Championship. He's ahead of everybody ahead of him, except for Nathan Gray. And his main rival behind him, Pat Fortune's not around today. So as far as behind him is concerned, it's really just Clint Strobel and Mario Fajal. Side-by-side action. Hines looking down the inside. Looking to do to Sichai what Sichai did to him. And he'll do it successfully, taking back 11th place. Chris Stancer loses out to Isaac Jordan. Apologies, we missed that. On his tail, it is Tetley and Coop. Wheel off track or something, but the gap didn't really change, so I don't think anything particularly emotional happened with Saha there. He's also train forming behind Nicky Taylor. He's got Sean Young on his tail and the Rothmans Porsche of Felix Kramrich. Lucas Geese off the track, mowing the grass. And the Honda will drop back a couple of spots as a result. I don't really know if I would say that this has been a particularly clean race. I'll be honest on that. This has been a bit rough and tumble, but I think this track also tends to breed that kind of rough and tumbleness. And Satai is going to go back past D. Hines, so they're just going to keep swapping positions at turn 1. It looks like. And in the meantime, Kerry Patton continues to hunt the both of them. Back to that a fair bit, as well as the Stancer train. Werner Jacobs losing a spot there to Mario Ferreira. And we have a yellow flag out for D. Hines. What has happened in the battle with Satai? Tough one. On one hand, Kerry Patton was definitely there, but at the other hand, that turn it's kind of an Ayrton Senna moment of sticking your nose into a gap that was definitely at some point going to close. And Hines rejoins. Looks like Patton may have also gotten punted again, actually. Let's see what happened there. I'm not going to get it on the 15-second replay. Not important enough to really dig that deep into. Chris Stancer is dropping back really quite a bit. What happened to Stancer? He's already off the track by the time we pick up the replay, unfortunately. Mr. McLaren went off the track quite heavily there. And he did it again there, dropping a number of spots. Kerry Patton into the pits. Meantime, Alan Herrera taking the fight to Matt Gale. This is for 5th place. Herrera currently 2nd in the bronze class. Gale is 4th in the silver class. Herrera's definitely got some pace. We've seen that in the past. It's no surprise. Was 2nd place in class at Coda. And then had the DNF at Donington Park. But attendance has been Alan's issue. He's been battling with the sponsors to get the money to get him on the grid. Sean Young looking down the inside of D. Hines. Doesn't fully go for it. Kramrich is right on their tail. And in behind them, that is the recovering car of Stancer. I feel like a complete wuss complaining about my back right now because I can see Lucas Joubert, who did 6 hours of Silverstone yesterday, and he's out there again today, and he's doing great, but I am taking a moment to do some stretch. Hopefully I don't miss anything too important. Still keeping an eye on the timing. But this is the closest battle we got right now. Sean Young on the tail of D. Hines. Strobel putting some pressure on Warner Jacobs. This is for just 30th place, but it's pretty important with the irons. There's Richard Oakes in behind them. So the first of the blue flagging taking place. And behind that is Jack Biddle in the Aston Martin. That's the battle for third place. Not terribly hot at the moment. A little bit of a cold war at the moment. But, it's there. Felix Kramrich still on the tail of Sean Young, who's still on the tail of D. Hines. Whoop! Kind of outbraked yourself there, and well, Kramrich won't. Far from gaining a spot, he's going to lose a spot to Chris Stancer. And probably easily David Slater. There goes the 97 through. Part of the 73. Looks like the 97 might be part of the livery. Oop. And, oh. What is... maybe a technical issue? Looks like we had a return to pit there for... Felix Kramrich. I hope he's not out of the race. Just Cahill pointed the wrong way. Let's see what happened to him. Looks like he's maybe thinking about a move on Lucas Joubert. And just kind of misjudges the curve. And ends up quite off. Did we lose Kramrich? Might have lost Kramrich. Hopefully that's just a game or hardware reboot. Oh, David Slater in the wall. This looks like this might be self-induced. I don't see what car would have possibly caused it. Yeah, just kind of takes a hard turn into the wall. Rare on the tail of Gale. We haven't checked back in on this battle in a while. We've got some lapped traffic up ahead. That is one of the Stunt Possum BMWs. Not sure which it is. I think it's Pat Fortune. It is one of the iron ones, so that would rule out Idris Cahill. And D. Hines is in the pits, so yeah, that would have to be Pat Fortune. Joubert and Golfer are going side by side. And if Oral Shaw ahead of him, that's a lapped car. Probably a car faster than him, if we're being honest. Shaw picked up a stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and has also made his pit stop, obviously. A little bit of an out-of-place car. Jordan is up on the tail of Sichai. So Jordan and Steve Tetley are coming through the field. Kind of slow but steady. Making their way uptown. Looking around the outside onto the oval. That Mustang should handle that pretty well. Sichai, of course, is in a different category than Casey Jones into the pits. First of the top 10 to pit here today. Sichai hanging on. Suggesting Sichai might not really want to race these two because this is silver versus bronze, but it looks like he's... well, I mean, the other thing with Silas Sichai is this is his first race in the series, so any idea of being a champion or anything like that is not really on the table. So there's not really much concern outside of having fun. Fajera also in the pit lane. Conrad Kuhn on the back of this as well, in the Iron Honda. Well, looking down the inside. Yeah, not going to happen. Not going to happen. Still, the McLaren remains ahead of the Mustang. The Lambo and the Honda giving chase. Hayter leads by about 2 seconds from Saha, and then it is Oaks in a relatively lonely third place. Biddle is in fourth, followed by Gale Herrera. Oh, Kuhn going for a move there. Did it work out? No, Tetley remains ahead. And then rounding off the top 10, it is Alan Herrera, Nathan Gray, L. Perry, who's right on the back of Nathan Gray. Looks like Gray's been caught up behind one of the stunt possums. It's a lapped car up ahead, although it could be also a pitted car. It's either Pat Fortune or Idris I don't know who it is, because it's shown in 27th place, and there's not a stunt possum in 27th place. But I think that's Pat Fortune. And he just has an end update. Yeah, that's Werner Jacobs in behind, so yeah. He's overtaken Jacobs, and there hasn't been an update on his number there. L. Perry will get through. Bearded X Badass on their tail in the American flag Mustang. Be a hell of a thing for it to be up on the podium here today. Conrad Kuhn still on the back of Steve Tetley. Jeffrey Bacher and Adam Stewart in behind. Stewart is lapped down. He's already pitted. Ooh, double side-by-side action. And Tetley! I don't know, Steve. I don't feel that was on. Let's have a look at the replay. So side-by-side action between Satai and Jordan. And yeah, no, that was always going to close. That was always going to close. Steve Tetley ends up facing the wrong direction. Nathan Gray now up on the back of Alan Herrera. Herrera must have had a moment, because he was not like ridiculously ahead of this battle, but he was a reasonable amount ahead of this battle. It's like he must have had a brief off or something, or had to overtake a blue flagger under much less than ideal circumstances. And is now in a four-way fight for his 6th place. With Gray, Badass, and Perry. Tetley into the pits, not surprised. Probably took a fair amount of damage. Los Patos Hermanos. Doing well in the hands of Nathan Gray. His major championship rival is missing in action today, and the other one, Felix Kramaric, appears to be out of the race. So, good news for him. Doesn't get the win here. Pat Fortune's in the pits. Idris Cahill's in the pits, serving their pit stops. And L. Perry is going to hop down the pit lane as well in the Stealth Bomber. Leon Lauture also in. That's Steve Tetley exiting. Gray looking to the inside of turn 1. Prime overtaking real estate. Little bit of contact there, a little hip check by Herrera. But for now, not a huge deal. Sometimes a little rubbing is racing. It's Pat Fortune rejoining behind them. Stunt Possum BMW. Just see if there's any other particular battles going on right now. Tetley's rejoined just ahead of Adam Stewart, so that could end up being... Oh, we got a couple pit stoppers. Joubert and Gieser in. And Lautrier's in. Again. The 106 might be having problems. Your next badass looking for the move here on Nathan Gray. And he is going to take 7th place. Cars going very offline at the end there. That I think was Pat Fortune in the BMW. Yeah, it was. Just checking it on the laptop on replay. Hayter's in the pits. Oaks is in the pits. So that is going to hand the lead over to Masio Saha again. The 32 hitting the front of the pack. Ray looking down the inside. Made his move late, and I think it's going to work out. Nicely done by the Iron Championship leader. Hangs on to what is currently 5th place. El Perry has gotten past Casey Jones with the overcut, so Jones's early pit stop maybe not going quite according to plan. Picking up Adam Stewart as he chases after Steve Tetley. Here's Jeffrey Bacher in behind them. Bacher has not pitted, I don't think, so this would be a blue flag scenario. Kerry Patton putting the pressure on D. Hines. No avail this time. Biddle and Gale heading down the pit lane. Along with Isaac Jordan and Sean Young. So that'll promote Herrera to 2nd place. With Gray giving chase along with Badass. What do the pit stops look like in terms of time? High end's a minute and a half. Well, high end's 2 minutes, but I'm not going to count that. Down to about 50 seconds. So there seems to be a fairly large variance going on right now, as far as the pit stops are concerned. Biddle got a really good pit stop, I think. No, I think the time is just not updated. It looked like he had hopped both Richard Ertz and Hayter in the pits, but no, that's not quite the case. Golfer and Stancer in the pit lane as well. Werner Jacobs off the track. Getting out of the way. Patton looking for a move here on D. Hines. These stunt possums have not been the nicest in wheel-to-wheel combat today. But Kerry Patton is going to get through this time. Only to catch a little bit of turbulence off the back of the Mustang of Warner Jacobs. Almost lost it. Nice save. Max Cruz heading down the pit lane, as well as David Slater. Conrad Kuhn putting the pressure on Silas Sitai. This is for 5th place on track. That's Adam Stewart's Lexus. That's not in the fight. Tetley and Stewart are down a lap to these guys. Keep in mind, though, that's just because they pitted. A pit stop can be almost a lap around here, so there is every intention that these two guys will be more or less battling with Stewart by the end of the race. Which kind of makes this a bit awkward. Because Stewart, rightfully so, thinks that he has a chance to get past them, despite the blue flags. But there's also a natural kind of racer instinct to not give that lap back. For reasons I just discussed. Despite the fact that they're a lap apart, I do really believe that Kuhn, Sitai, Tetley, and Stewart are in a very similar race. It's just Stewart and Tetley have pitted, and the other two have not. Herrera in the pits along with Mickey Taylor and Jeffrey Bacher. And Stewart does indeed unlap himself here. Mike Golfer and Sean Young are right up behind Chris Stancer. That Stancer train forming again. Kerry Patton also in the back there in the Milwaukee Tools. Very wide ride there for Golfer. Might lose out to Patton. Pretty sure who's being shown the blue flag here. These four are all battling for position. Must be behind them that there's a blue flag scenario. Idris Cahill has come... Well, Max Cruz has come out right in ahead of Idris Cahill. 23.5 minutes to go in the race. A couple of pit stops still to be served, but most of the field has been in. So yet to pit, we have the top 5. That's Saha, Badass, Gray, Sitai, and Kuhn. Speaking of which, Kuhn is in the pits. And that is it. 4 left. Bacher now putting the pressure on Tetley. He's caught up to the back of this fight. Ahead of them, that is Sitai putting a lap on somebody. Whoa! Mickey Taylor, I think that was having a massive jump. I need a replay of that. If I could select it, please. Thank you. We're going back 30 seconds. I'm going with the big replay for this one. Not sure what he was thinking here. Other than, I believe I can fly. So he gets lapped by Sitai. There you go. Oh my lord. Hard into the sausage curbs. Ends up very off the track. Major pit stop action. Saha's in. Badass is in. Sitai is in. So the only person still out there without a pit stop is Nathan Gray, who will cycle into the lead at least for the time being. Really no chance of keeping that lead for the record. These just not really close enough. Mike Golfer putting the pressure on Sean Young. Goes down the inside, picks up a spot. That is a key bronze battle. Golfer is in 4th in the championship. Sean Young is in 2nd. Two top Porsches in the field. Tetley train at this point. Tetley, Bacher, Stancer, Golfer, Young, and Taylor all running basically together. Kerry Pattenden also not too far back. And even at a stretch, D. Hines and Lucas Geese and Joubert, Cahill, Cruz all possibly could be involved in this train at some point, back to about 26th place. Bacher looking to try to break out of the train. Looking to try to get around Tetley. Actually, not for nothing, I completely didn't realize Adam Stewart's actually the front of the train here. It's not Tetley. It's Stewart. Ooh, Golfer in the background going for it on Stancer. Does not work, but a pretty nicely timed sneak attack, honestly. Taylor going at it with Young. Honestly, a little surprised Taylor's car is driving straight after the absolute smashing he gave the ground there. Wish I had an onboard view where I could look at the steering wheel. I imagine it might be a little off center, if you know what I mean. Isaac Jordan looking to make a move on Conrad Kuhn. She kind of has botched it a little bit, though. Gotten a little too on the brakes. Nathan Gray's been into the pits, so the pit stops are all taken care of. It is Professional Hater back in the lead, so cycling back to the front in the Audi. Ahead of Saha by about 5.5 seconds. Richard Oakes in 3rd, so no change there. Jack Biddle 4th. Matt Gale 5th, so no changes in the top 5. Alan Herrera in 6th place. Bearded X Badass 7th, then Gray, then Perry, then Casey Jones. Really about the same top 10 we had before the pit stop started. There might be a couple of people in a slightly different position, but the drivers are, I think, the same. So your big winner in the pit stops, I think, ends up being Conrad Kuhn, who is in 11th place now. Tetley did get past Sean Young. Or not Tetley, Taylor. Pardon. There is Tetley going side by side with Adam Stewart. And that is Bacher in the background, followed by Stancer, followed by Golfer, followed by Taylor, followed by Young. Tetley having a moment. Gets up off the track. And that'll be everybody basically going around him, including race leader, Professional Hater. Lucas Geese and D. Hines battling it out for 22nd place. And the Honda is going to motor ahead of the BMW there. Battle of Williams bragging honors. Conrad could appears to have had an off. So out to Isaac Jordan. They were not that close together when I looked at them last. So, well, if he didn't have an off before, he's got one now. It's one of the stunt possums unlapping themselves going around, so no positional loss. Satai in the background is the actual rival. Gold and black McLaren. Like Golfer looking for a move on Chris Stancer. Very defensive line from Stancer. Basically says, oh no you don't. I brook no overtake right now. Fastest laps, haven't been talking to them about a lot. 35.672 for professional hater is the overall fastest. Fastest in the bronze category appears to be Saha, 35.762. And in the iron category, I got a 36.61 for Gray. And that looks like the case. So, kind of boring. Everybody that's winning their category also has the fastest lap. Not really any surprises there. Should be mentioned, two of the category leaders were not pole sitters for their category. Only Saha was. So there is some ideas that the fastest lap could go elsewhere. And the next badass looking down the inside of El Perry, but for now the stealth bomber hangs on. Up ahead of them, that is Nathan Gray having a battle with. It looks like Casey Jones, but Jones is shown as being behind me. Or behind this group on my screen. Oh, nope, that's Alan Herrera. My apologies. That is not the Stunt Blossom Ferrari. This is a proper four-way fight for 6th place. Taylor and Golfer going at it. That is Saha in behind them, so that's a blue flag scenario. Should be easy enough to clear that on the banked oval section. Once we get there, oh, Taylor opens the door. So let's go on ahead. And falls back into the grabs of Steve Tetley as a result. Gray going side by side with Herrera. Very defensive line by Herrera. That is going to be 6th place for the Ferrari driver. Further back, we got a battle between Lucas Joubert and D. Hines. In behind them, that is Max Cruz, I do believe. It's a 3-way iron fight for, I believe this is the podium spot for the iron category as well, behind Gray and Kuhn. By the way, getting back past Herrera. And back into 6th place, we'll get a replay. Just the standard first corner maneuver that we've seen a number of times. Also tried to replicate in the background by Bearded X Badass, but defended by El Perry in the Nissan. So in the categories of classes, silver category, it's Hayter leading from Oaks, Biddle, Gale, and Perry. Followed by Badass in 6th, Jordan in 7th, Taylor in 8th, 9th for Tetley, and 10th for Oral Ja. With a stop-go penalty, he's put himself a little far back. In the bronze category, it is Maciel Saha leading the way. was going to say Alan Herrera in second place, and he still is, but he loses a spot there to the silver driver, El Perry. And in third place, it's Casey Jones, followed by the newcomers Sitai and Stewart, the championship leader, rounding off the top 5. And in the iron category, it is Gray from Kuhn. Heinz cruises up to 4th, having just overtaken Joubert, who is in 5th place. Rounding off the top 10 for the bronze category, it is Jeffrey Bacher, Chris Stancer, Mike Golfer, Sean Young, and Kerry Pattenden. And for the iron category, it is Joubert, like I said, followed by Pat Fortune, Rio Lautare, Colton Strobel, and Warner Jacobs, and then Mario Ferreira. Probably going to stick with this battle for a bit. There's other battles going on, don't get me wrong, but this is pretty much the most intriguing. Ray in 6th place, ahead of the stealth bomber El Perry, Alan Herrera, and Bearded X Badass. Casey Jones quite a way back in this group. Couple other battles going on. Bacher and Stewart are going at it for 14th place. Tetley and Taylor for 18th place. Joubert is off the track again. Shaw also been off the track a little bit. Lost a couple of cars along the way. We've lost Felix Kramrich, of course. Somebody else is missing from the field. I would be lying if I could tell you which one. As Chris Stancer's off. What's happening here? I see Mike Golfer taking evasive action. But he's a little bit far back here to have been the cause of this. Just loses the back end. Actually, it's Golfer who is the innocent victim in that particular exchange. Oh, somebody else at the wall. That's Max Cruz. What's going on here? This is not an area of the track I expected to see carnage at, honestly. This turn onto the main straight. Well, got the grass. Yep, that is the wall for the Los Patos Hermanos entry. Managed to rejoin without losing any positions, but still not good. Adam Stewart, Jeffrey Bacher going side by side. That is Saha in the background, who's coming up to lap them. So that is not important in that regard. Saha trying to duck around the outside. Will do so. This is pretty important. Stewart, of course, is the leader in the bronze category. Saha is obviously the man up and coming. But, probably wouldn't mind helping out Jeffrey Bacher a little bit here. And Stewart gets very wide there. Actually doesn't end up losing the spot, though. On to the back straight. 3 wide. Lapped car on the far inside, though. Lapping car. Saha not super happy about this. I haven't seen Stewart really make any what you would call defensive maneuvers, though. He tried to let him through and just ended up getting a very good drive off the corner. Chris Stancer overtakes Kerry Pattenden. 21st place after his spin. Alan Herrera all over the back end of the stealth bomber. In the meantime, Saha still has not gotten through. That Mercedes does not have a great traction offline, it seems. It's obviously very, very, very rapid. It's in second place for a reason. Part of that is Saha, but part of that is also, you know, the car has got to be clicking. But its ability to navigate traffic appears to be quite poor. Bacher lets it through. Sean Young up on the back of Mike Golfer, who in turn is up on the back of Steve Tetley. They're going to lap Rion Vaucheray, though. That's Richard Oakes coming up behind them. There's all kinds of blue flags. Oakes is currently in third place. And Young ends up very off the track. Down to the last 6 minutes. So let me quickly throw together a standings here. So as it stands, Bearded Professional Hater picking up the W today, including a fastest lap. Second place belonging to Richard Oakes. Third place to Biddle. Fourth place to the championship leader, Matt Gale, who will remain the championship leader as things stand. And it's El Perry in fifth. Sixth for the Bearded X Badass. Seventh for Isaac Jordan. As they navigate through Lucas Joubert there. Jordan, it would be Taylor and Tetley. As Herrera loses a spot there to Bearded X Badass. And the final point would belong to Oral Shop. By being pretty much at the back of the pack here today. Mickey Taylor versus Jeffrey Bacher versus Adam Stewart here. So as things stand, your championship leader in the silver category would still be Matt Gale. Bearded X Badass would be second. It'd be 75 to 67. Richard Oakes on 66. 57 for El Perry. And Professional Hater busting into the top 5 with 41. Would be the current results. Saha would have the perfect 20-point outing today. Second place currently belongs to Alan Herrera. And it is Casey Jones. Satai Stewart will be on 6 points. Will be sixth. Seventh for Bacher. Eighth for Golfer. Young ninth. 10th for Lucas Geese. So in the bronze category, it would be a 2-point lead for Stewart over Saha. 53 points for Sean Young, Mike Golfer on 41, and Bacher on 40. Stewart and Mickey Taylor going side by side there. Bacher, by the way, moving up past Stewart. That would give the championship lead to Saha. That's important. Also, we get Bacher fourth place ahead of Mike Golfer. This is still very much the battle to be looking at. The place with the most intrigue. Nathan Gray's win would obviously leave him at the top of the iron category. Not a ton of interesting stuff to talk about there. Conrad Kuhn would be second place, followed by D. Hines and Max Cruz. Joubert, then Pat Fortune. Lautre is having his best run of the season in 7th place by the looks of it. Then Strobel and Jacobs. It's Thomas Boris that also wins it, and then Fajeda. So in the iron category, it would be still championship lead for Nathan Gray. Kuhn would move up into 2nd place, followed by Hansen, Kramaric, Cruz would be up into 5th place there. So, and tied with D. Hines actually would have the tiebreaker, so he'd actually be the top 5. Alright, let's focus on the battle to the end here. We've got our ideas of what the standings look like now. Now it's a matter of just bringing it on home. Jeffrey Bacher on the tail of Satai. Tetley going side by side with Stewart and Golfer, and that's Richard Oakes kind of getting caught up in the mix there. He's in 3rd place as we hit the final lap. Boom! Big power slide by Oakes. Trying to get his butt through here. Bacher going side by side with Satai. This would be a big deal for Bacher. And through he goes, but he did contact. But I would say he left more than enough room. I think that's on Satai annihilating himself, honestly. Stewart's up and through, as well as Golfer. Tetley in this battle as well. There's Stewart. Richard Oakes Richard Oakes just going, guys, it's blue flags. Just let me through. Just let me through. Actually, if I'm Oakes, I'm just not really trying. He's in 3rd place. Oh, my lord! Steve Tetley obliterates Adam Stewart. I don't know what he was thinking. I do not know. That is not good. That's the bronze championship leader in quite possibly the wall. Oh boy.
The leader has finished the race.
All right, Professional Hater is your winner on the day. Somebody out of gas on the side of the road. 2nd place for Maciel Saha. Richard Oakes is going to bring it home in 3rd. By the looks of it. Is there any battle going on at the line? Really? Closest battle is Patented versus Stancer. So Richard Oakes does finish. There's Jackson Biddle. He'll net himself 3rd place in class. Championship leader Matt Gale finishes in 4th place. Ethan Gray will pick up the win. In class, El Perry. 5th in class, just holding off Bearded X Badass at the line. By the looks of it. And Alan Herrera right behind them for 2nd place in bronze. Casey Jones will round off the podium for the bronze guys. His first podium. Officially now a bronze driver. People are, of course, leaving. So this is why I do why I do it a little bit earlier with the standings. Isaac Jordan. Then it'll be Bacher. 5th in category. Kuhn picks up a 2nd place in iron. And we are done. All right. The standings I have here may not be accurate, but they are what I've got to work with. So, running down the top 5 here real quick. In each category, we've got Matt Gale on 75 points, Bearded X Badass on 67 points, 66 for Richard Oakes, 57 for El Perry, and 41 for today's winner, Professional Hater. In the bronze category, we've got Adam Stewart on 63 points, but his number might have changed significantly because he got taken out by Tetley at the end there. And that could be a big deal. Tetley, I didn't see any bronze get past him, but they might have. Let's see, did Golfer finish ahead of him? Stewart. Yeah, Golfer, Satai, and Young. Oh, boy. Yeah, that's going to change things a bunch. Let me just quickly run through this as best I can. So Saha, the winner. Perhera, second. Third for Casey Jones. Bacher gets fourth place. Fifth place for Golfer. Sixth place for Satai. Then it's going to be Stewart. So that's going to be dead even between him and Saha. Lucas Geese, 4 points. 2 points for Stancer and 1 for Pattenton. That was Sean Young at the end. So this will be the whole thing actually. So let me quickly look at the bronze here. Oh, I lost it. Darn it. Okay. Well, that's the best I can do for you. And in the iron category, comparatively dull. Nathan Gray wins today. He leads the championship on 79 points ahead of Conrad Kuhn on 54. 52 for Andreas Hansen, 51 for Felix Kramrich, and then a tie between D. Hine and Max Kruse. I believe the tiebreaker would go to Hines. They are tied on 46 points. In the standings. So that is subject to change, and we'll find out next week or when the website updates. So let's get a car gallery up here. Today's winner is the Audi, so I feel like we have to use the Audi as our guide, and I am in fact going to use this painful thing as the deal. So as you know, we are now in the interview phase here. We've got two people, Casey Jones and Professional Hater. Casey Jones, you got your hand up first. You are up first to speak. You picked up a 10th place today, including a podium in the iron or the bronze category. How do you feel?
So it was a podium. That's half the reason I came here, was to find out, because everybody left too quick. I feel great. That's awesome.
By my completely unscientific and unofficial results, you finished third place behind Saha and Alan Herrera. I am actually relatively certain on that, so barring any penalties, you will be the third place finisher.
That's a good day. I'll take that all day.
The bronze championship is considerably messed up behind you because of some carnage that occurred, but I am fairly confident about the top three that I have.
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on, actually. Toward the end there, none of us really had any idea what place we were in sitting there, because there was just a lot of carnage in that race.
Yeah. Well, yeah, third place, solid effort. Your, I believe, first top 10 finish of the season. Your first podium in class. And I don't really have much else to say about your race. It was pretty, at least from the commentary standpoint, anonymous.
Yeah, I think I was pretty much in my own space, in front of and behind me for most of the race, so I didn't see much of it. But I'm not complaining. I'll take it like that every week.
That's true. Sometimes anonymous is the good way to roll.
Yeah.
Anything else before we invite race winner Professional Hater to the stage?
Oh, Hater won? I didn't even see. Congrats, Hater.
Hater
that was good. Yeah, he was putting up some really good laps these last couple of days. I noticed. I saw. So it's kind of pulling for him too. Good job, Hater. Yeah, no, that's it. Thanks. For all that you do. Good job, everybody. Good race.
All right, let's get Hater up on stage. Professional Hater, driver of the lone Audi in the field, the 992 Audi, which is currently on display right now in front of everybody. Not your livery, because I don't have your livery, but I do. I have it in the back, but not overall.
Yeah.
How did it go today? You were out front for pretty much most of the day. Got an early overtake on Maciel Saha, and kind of, I don't want to say ran away with it. It was definitely a close run thing, but from that point onwards, you were kind of off of my scopes, to be honest.
I mean, I think I finished the race like 8 seconds in front of Saha, so it's like, for me, it was mostly to conserve my tires because I was just pushing, pushing, pushing for the first like half of the race just to, really get that gap. And like, Saha is like a really, really quick driver, I will say. He's amazingly quick. I'll give him props. He had me scared at some points, honestly. And each lap I was doing, I was like, oh, I'm getting faster slap, getting faster slap. I'm like trying to calculate everything, how I'm gonna do it. And then, it's just at the same time you're driving the Audi, it's such a fucking tricky car to drive as well. Because like one wrong slip up and, you know, you're in the fucking wall.
I must be like an Audi whisperer or something, because I don't find
Honest,
the same
yeah,
difficulty
yeah.
everyone else relays when they're talking about it. I just don't.
No, it's more like the thing is, once you drive the car enough, you know where the limit is. So for
Oh,
me, it was
maybe
just trying to
that's the
push that
key. I
limit.
just drive it a lot.
Yeah, you just try like push that limit, edge it, ever so slightly. Obviously, I was on TC1 and it was very nice, the Audi in this track, I will say. I mean, I'm just happy that I won, honestly. I was a bit concerned in my qualifying because Saha put up a 35.5 and I was a bit, scared. So I was thinking, oh, I'm actually gonna have to work for this now.
Well, admittedly, meaning no offense to Saha, I've not seen a race of him where he's actually brought home the qualifying pace to the actual race itself. So,
I mean, he did get faster slap in the session. I'm pretty sure. I think that was after his pit stop, which I was
well,
like,
I'm
oh,
more
maybe.
referencing the consistency of the matter.
Ah, yeah, I see. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, that makes sense, I guess. Yeah. Well, I'll give him props. He's a very clean driver. I had like a fun battle with him for the first two, 3 laps until I got him on I think it was the turn one. I think I got him on.
It's the
So
same
yeah,
bet. Turn one, I think, accounts for like 75% of the overtakes on this track.
I mean, yeah, yeah, I did. I don't know about the rest of server two. I know I was in the VC. I had a lot of commotion going on. Half of the billboard, like the polystyrene boards, were all over the track. So I'm pretty sure a lot of crashes happened.
Oh, there were a couple. Yeah, there were a couple.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you for what you do. It's always entertaining to watch these back.
That is the goal. All right, let's see if we have anyone else. I saw we had Oral Job. But Oral, you got to put your hand up if you want me to invite you to the stage. I'm not sure I have the ability to do that otherwise. Oh, I can send an invite to speak, but you have to accept the invite. All right, all right. If you don't want to talk, you don't want to talk. That's fine. We'll call it a day then. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Like I said, I'll give a quick rundown of the championship order. Again, has to be emphasized. Very unofficial order here. Very unofficial. I'm just doing this off of based on what we had at the end there, and obviously there are some things that could have kicked off that maybe changed some things and I missed. But I have Matt Gale leading the Iron Champion or the Silver Championship with 75 points to Bearded X Badasses 67, and 66 for Richard Oakes, 57 for L Perry, and 41 for Professional Hater. I have in the bronze category Adam Stewart now dead even with Maciel Saha on 61 points each, which Saha would have the tiebreaker, I do believe. Sean Young has 51 points for third place, followed by Mike Golfer on 47 points and 46 for Jeffrey Bacher. And then in the iron category, I've got a pretty commanding, pretty dominant lead for Nathan Gray at 79 points. Conrad Kuhn in second place on 54, followed by Andreas Hansen on 52, Felix Kramrich on 51, and Max Cruz and D. Hines tied for fifth place, which, again, I believe the tiebreaker, as is my understanding, would go to D. Hines in that case. However, we also have to talk really quickly about the drop scores. Hines is dropping 2 points. Cruz is dropping 0. So in that regard, Cruz would have the tiebreaker advantage. It would be a 13-point drop for Nathan Gray, so he would still be leading the championship. Hansen, Kramaric, and Kuhn are all dropping zeros. And in the bronze category, the drop of 0 would put Zaha at the top over the 6 points drop for Adam Stewart. Sean Young would be dropping 0, but I don't think would be moving up anywhere. He'd still be third. It'd be a 6-point drop for Golfer, which would put him at 41 and drop him behind Bacher. And in the silver category, the drops would be 10 points for Gale, 8 points for Bearded X Badass, 7 points for Richard Oakes. El Perry would be dropping 6, and Hayter would be dropping 0. So there'd be really no changes there due to the fact that the drops are fairly similar. And the only person really picking up any gain there would be Hayter, but he would still be 5th place. So not any changes. I hope you guys enjoyed today's race, and I thought it was pretty action-packed. Not the cleanest, I'll say that. Indianapolis never is. But I do think it was quite good, and I hope you enjoyed the action, and we'll call it a day there.